Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay, Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced. Third game of the April 27th. I forgot to write that in, 4/27. There were 3 games played on April 27th, all on the left coast. They were in Oakland, they were in Seattle, and now we are in California. So Hotel California game, the way they used to say it on ESPN with Chris Berman. So this, I guess, would be considered another Hotel California game. And this one, hello, Philip. This one is the Brewers and the Angels. Teams going in opposite directions based on their replay records and also on their regular records. There was a big discrepancy there as well. So on the replay, the Brewers are 14-3. The Angels are 7-12. Today's matchup, or tonight's matchup, depending on when you're watching this, is Mike Witt for the Angels against Juan Nieves, a left-hander for the Brew Crew. Look at the ballpark effects for Anaheim Stadium. Singles are 1-5 for lefties, home runs 1-12 for left-handers. Mike Witt is 1-2. Juan Nieves is 2-1. Pitcher-catcher quotient is -4 for Witt, as we have Miller at -2 and Witt at -2 for a total of -4. Nieves is a 0. He's a 0, and so is Surhoff. So as you look at your lineups here, we got Milder, Yount, Braggs, Brock, Deere, Cooper, Surhoff, Swain, and Gantner. And for the Angels, it is Downing, Joyner, Schofield, DeCinces, White, Miller, Howell, Pettis, and McLemore. Now, one thing interesting on the Strat-O-Matic computer is Butch Weiniger is actually, I guess he's injured. He was out for about a week, and they have no backup catcher on the roster. So Miller is going to catch everything. Now, Brian Downing used to be a catcher back in the day. So if Miller gets hurt, Downing will be our emergency catcher. They don't get Bob Boone until a little bit later on, for like the first week in May. They bring Bob Boone on. So that's, we just have to hope that Miller doesn't have a injury to worry about. All right, let me make sure everything is here that you can see it. Looks like it's as good as I can get it with this. All right, any other, see, wild pitch for Witt is a 5, balk's a 0 for Nieves. Wild pitch 4, balk a 0. Miller's passball rating is a 6. Surhoff is a passball rating of 5. Their T rating, Miller's a T3, Surhoff a T11. All right, so it'll be Mike Witt to start things off for the Angels. And as I bring up the Strat computer, Mike Witt, his total numbers on the replay, 1-2 with a 5.13 earned run average, 26 innings pitched, 25 hits, 6 walks, and 24 strikeouts. And leading off for the Brewers will be Paul Molitor. Molitor will be injured in the month of May, so they're going to miss him. So they're going to need to make hay while they can, before he gets injured. Molitor hitting .391, 5 homers, and 18 driven in. Remember, underway, 6-8, and that's a 1-6 single, 7-20. He lines out. That's an 8, so that will be a line out to the shortstop Schofield for out number 1. One thing about Strat that I've noticed, and I guess I've noticed it before, but I really notice it now as I'm playing every game, is that there are an awful lot of lineouts to short. So the shortstop's probably going to have more putouts than they have assists, which is unheard of. But that's just the way the game was designed. So take it for what that's worth. All right, here's Robin Yount. Yount on the replay is hitting .275, 5 homers, 17 driven in. 610, that's a ballpark single check. And that's a 1-5. That's a 16, so that fails. Normally, that'd be a line out to short on a failed ballpark, but I'm tired of the line out to shorts. The original result was a fly ball center field. I'm going to stick with that result just to give a little flavor to it. And I might start making ballpark. I think what I'm going to do from now on is make ballpark single fails a line out to third instead of a line out to short. For right-handers, and for left-handers, it's going to be a line out to first rather than line out to second because there's just too much of that going on. So I have to do something to kind of mix it up. Hello, Mr. Utah Mike. Maybe you can answer this for me, Utah Mike, because you're a Strat guru, at least a PC guru, I hope. Anyway, is there a way on the Strat computer to have a range shortened game? Because I don't know how to do it if there is. And the reason I ask is when one of my history record games was a rain out, but it was an official game with 7 innings. And so the Strat computer, I'm frozen in the top of the 7th. I can't do anything because the game's not over. It didn't end. And I don't know how to force it to end with that result. I don't think there's a way to do it in Strat. So I think that game's just going to be hung out in limbo. I don't know how else to do it. But if there's a way, I'd like to learn it, but I don't think there is. All right, here's Glenn Braggs hitting 328, 2 homers, 15 runs driven in. That's for anybody besides Mike. I mean, later on, if anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. All right, so Glenn Braggs. 2-8 for Braggs. He's going to ground it to short, and Schofield's got it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Witt, as he makes short work of the Brew Crew here in the top of the first. Yeah, if there's a way to do it, I'd love to do it because like I said, the Reds replay, I'm 1 game off because I can't put that game in the final stats because it's still pending. And I do have it saved where it is, but I can't finish it off. And I just don't know how to do it. All right, so here is Juan Nieves, left-hander. And on the replay, Nieves is 2-1 with a 5.29 earned run average, 17 innings pitched, 15 hits, 9 walks, and 19 strikeouts. And Brian 10 Downing Street will lead things off for the Angels. He's hitting 316, 6 homers, 14 driven in. We got a 1-7 against the lefty. That's trouble for Nieves. 1-15 is a double. That's an 8. So a leadoff double for Brian Downing. So Downing continues his good hitting. He will not be held at second base. He doesn't run all that well. And here's Wally World, Wally Joyner. Yeah, I guess I could do that. It just wouldn't give me a win-loss record for the team, but I could put the stats in manually, I suppose. I'll have to figure something out on that. All right, so Joyner hitting 338, 5 homers, 12 runs driven in. First havoc roll of the game. And we get nothing out of it. So lefty on lefty. 5-4 is a fly ball center field X. That is Yount. He's a 2. 2 and a 13. Let's check out 2 and 13 on the outfielder chart. 2 and 13 is an F2. And let's see. His error rating is a 6. So he has to avoid 4, 3, 15, and 18. So basically 3, 4, 15, and 18. And that's a 14, and he just does it. He just does it. 15 would have been an error, but not an 18. So it's an F2, and I believe on an F2, the runner on second does have the opportunity to move up. It says here, runner on second may tag up and try to advance. So runner on second is down. It doesn't run all that well, although Yount does have a +2 arm. So to get to third base with 1 out would be pretty sweet if they could do it. He's an 11 plus the 2 arm is a 13. And it says compute that speed plus the outfielder's arm. So it's basically a straight up running speed plus outfielder's arm. So it's a 1-13. He would be safe. Actually, safe range is 1-9. The only way he's out is on a 20, so it's not that big of a gamble to try it. So it's a 1-13. And he's in there. He went to third and made it. So Downing does tag up and get to third base with only 1 out, which is important. Sacrifice fly can score him. So a productive out for Joyner, as it turns out, as he will fly to center. And going to third will be Downing. Thank you, Mike. I'll have to figure out what's going on. We got 6 inches of snow coming here tomorrow, so I'm not sure what's going to be going on. Hopefully, we won't lose power. It's supposed to be a fluffy type snow, not the wet snow with ice. So hopefully, we won't have any of that to worry about. But I'll have to see what the heck is going on. All right, Dick Schofield is your batter. Infield is in for the Brew Crew. They don't give a cheap run. Schofield hitting a .167, no homers and 5 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. That's a 6-8, and that's trouble. Doesn't matter whether the infield's in or out. 1 to 7 is a double, 8 to 20 is a single. That's a single, 2 stars. So Schofield will drive in Downing, and the Angels take an early 1-0 lead. So how about that? The first place A's lost in this particular date, and now the first place Brewers are behind. Not saying they're going to lose. I'm just saying you never know. It's why you roll the dice. All right, so Schofield will have to be held. He has a 4 or 5 to get the lead. And if he gets the lead, it'd be a 1 to 17. So they're definitely going to try it. It's a 4 or a 5. Does not get the lead, so he will hold. All right, so that'll bring up to Sensei. And Doug DeSensei is hitting .236, 3 homers, 7 driven in. 3-9 against the lefties, a split chance. 6 to 20 is a line out to short. 1 to 5 is a single. It's a yet another line out to short. So 2 away. Joyner still at, Schofield still at first. And that'll bring up Devon Witt. And Witt on the replay is hitting .247, a homer and 4 driven in. Switch hitter batting right-handed, 3-5 against the lefty. That's good for him. 1 to 2 is a triple, 3 to 20 is a double. That's a double. It's assumed to go to center field. And you got Yount with that +2 arm. Schofield was being held, makes him a 14, but with 2 outs, it becomes a 16. And then the +2 arm makes it an 18. So 1 to 18. And if they throw through, Witt will take third base. So how do you play this? You take a chance you can get the odds just are not there. So Schofield's going to score. The Brewers will cut the throw to keep Witt at second base. But the Angels now take a 2-0 lead on the double by Devon Witt. So Nieves getting knocked around a bit here in the first inning. And that'll bring up Darryl Miller, the catcher. In 19 at-bats, he's hitting .211, no homers, 2 driven in. One possible wild pitch on Nieves. His wild pitch rating is a 4. That's 6, so it does get blocked by Surhoff. 6-2, and that's a fly ball right field X. Right fielder is Braggs. He's a 3. 3-2, that's bad news for the Brewers again. 3-2 is a double. So it's a double for Miller. That will score Witt. Makes it 3-0 Angels here in the first. And we're checking Braggs for an error. He's an E13. So on an E13, he's got to avoid 4, 6, 12, 15, and 17. And that is a 13, so he just barely does it. So no error, but the double by Miller. RBI double by Miller makes it 3-0 Angels. And that'll bring up Jack Howell, the left fielder. Howell hitting .293, a homer and 6 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc this time. Lefty on lefty matchup. 1-3 is a pop out to first, and the inning is finally over as Brock puts it away. But the Angels put 3 up on the first and grab an early lead on the powerful Brew Crew. Didn't see that one coming, but we still got 8 innings to go, so anything can happen. Mike Witt back out now enjoying a 3-0 lead. He'll be facing Brock, Deere, and Cooper. Greg Crocodile Brock, .316 average, a homer and 12 driven in. That's a 6-9, and that's a solid single off of Mike Witt. So back come the Brew Crew. Don't count them out. They can score some runs. So Brock will not be held. And that brings up Rob Deere, the left fielder. Deer on the replay hitting .305, 4 homers and 15 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. Here's Deer. 6-7, and that's a walk. So, like I said, don't count the Brewers out yet, as they have the first 2 on with nobody out. And that'll send up Cecil Cooper, the designated hitter. Cooper on the replay hitting .279, 4 homers, 11 driven in. Infield looking for the double play. 4-5, but it's a strikeout for Witt, so he'll take that for sure as he puts the K on Cooper. 1 away, and that brings up catcher B.J. Surhoff. Surhoff is hitting .314 and no homers and 1 driven in. Now double play gets Witt out of the inning. It's a 6-5. That's a fly ball left field B, so with it being to left field, the runner on second is going to have to hold. So after the first 2 are on, we get the next 2 out. Now Del Swain, shortstop, is up in a clutch situation against right-handed pitching. He gains hits on 1-4 and 110, and he also gains a hit on 310. So he's very good in the clutch. Right now he's hitting .250 with a homer and 9 driven in, but definitely a clutch hitter rated according to Strat. That's Ron. Hey Ron, these are as played lineups, so you have to ask. You have to bring that up with Gene Mock. He was the one that did it. 2-2 for Swain is a ground ball to first, and that's going to do it. As Joyner will take it to the bag himself to end the inning. Bottom of the second we go, still 3-0 Angels. And Nieves will try to settle in and not have the same thing happen to him in the second inning that happened to him in the first inning. And Gary Pettis will lead it off for the Angels in the number 8 position. Pettis is hitting .348, no homers, 10 driven in. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be a solid single. I'm sorry, looking to the left side. 2-6, 1-4 is a double. That's a 15. It'll be a fly to left. Got to remember Nieves is the lefty. Got to look over here. So the 2-6 against a righty would have been a single, but against the lefty, it's a 1-4 double. But that 15 says he flies to left. And put away out there by Deer, 1 away. Good idea to keep Pettis off the bases if you're the Brewers. Here's Mark McLemore, second baseman. McLemore hitting .234, 2 homers, 12 driven in. 1-7 against the lefties, a ground ball to short. Swain will make that play easily. Over to Brock, 2 down. And we flip the order over to Brian Downing. He started this whole mess for the Angels in the bottom of the first with a leadoff double, then scored later on. 4-7, and that's a ground ball right back to Nieves, and that's going to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down go the Angels. And we go to the top of the third. It is MIlwaukee still trailing the Angels 3-0. And the only person in the starting lineup not to hit yet is coming up now in Jim Gantner. Gantner on the replay. It checks in at .313. No homers, 4 driven in for Mr. Gantner. That's a 3-9 for Gantner, and he's going to draw a leadoff walk. So Gantner trying to get something started for the Brewers. Get that leadoff man on. Anything can happen. You need base runners, and that's how you get it started. A long journey starts with a small first step. So that's what they're shooting for. And that'll flip the order over to Mahler. Gantner will have to be held because he has the asterisk there, and if they don't hold him, then he's going to get free reign to get the lead. Witt's a -4, so I don't think they're going to try anything, especially down 3-0 with Mahler. You don't want to take the bat out of his hands. So Gantner is on. He will be held. And here's Milder. Nothing on the Havoc. Milder's first time up, lined it out to Schofield. 6-7, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks. Maybe the Brew Crew have something going. Although last inning they had the first two on and couldn't do anything with it. But now they're at the top of the order, not the bottom of the order. So that could make a difference. Here's Yount. Tying run at the plate now in Yount. 2-7, and that's a single 2 stars. That'll score Gantner and put the Brewers on the board. And it'll move Milder to third base. Cuts the lead to 3-1. And now Yount will be held, won't try to go anywhere. That -4 is going to keep him there, I think. Here's Braggs, infield looking for the double play. That's a 1, so Mike Witt's wild pitch rating is a 5. And no wild pitch, it's blocked by Miller. So the infield's back for the double play. They will give up the run to get the 2 outs because they need outs desperately. 4-4, and that's a catcher X. So the catcher is Miller. He's a 4. 4 and a 1. That's terrible. What a bad break that was. 4 and a 1 for a catcher is going to be a W/S, which looks like it's a possible single, but we'll check out the W as well. And we'll check for an error. He's an E13. So not out of the woods on the error either. E13, look at all these numbers for E13. 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. And that's a 14, so it will be an error. It will be an error, I think, or will it? E13. No, there is no 14. It's 15 through 18, so 14 is safe. But it is a W/S. And it says, with runners on base, the pitcher uncorks a wild pitch. Oh, that's a rare play. All runners advance one place and play resumes. So it won't be a single. It'll actually be a wild pitch that's going to score the run, making it 3-2. And Yount will also take second base. So they take the hit away from Braggs temporarily, but they get the run on the wild pitch. Hello, Mr. Doug and Mr. RJL. So it's now 3-2. Brewers have cut into that lead thanks to the wild pitch from Witt. And now Yount at second base will be held. Nobody out. Infield back to normal depth. Here's Braggs. 5-3. It's a fly ball left field X. That is going to be Howell. He's not very good. He's a 4. That could be trouble. 4 and a 17, though, should be okay. It might be a sac. Well, it can't be a sacrifice fly because the runner's on second. 4 and a 17 is an F2, and his error is an E4. So as an E4, he just needs to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18. He should be able to do that. And he does. So it's a good play there for Howell. Makes the catch. 1 away. Staying at second base is Yount. And here's Greg Brock. Brock singled his last time up. 4-10 against the lefty. That's in home run chance. He does have normal power. It's a 1-15 home run. That's a 17, so it will be a triple for Greg Brock, rather, a triple. And that's going to tie the game at 3 just that quickly. The Brew Crew makes up those 3-run deficit. Greg Brock on the 87 season. How many triples did he have? He had 3 triples, so there's one of them right there. Greg Brock with a triple. And now Brewers looking to take the lead. Hey, Chuck, how you doing? All right, so the triple from Surhoff with 1 out. Infield now in. And here's Rob Deere. 3-4, that's a strikeout. That was much needed by Mike Witt. So now with 2 outs, the infield can go play normal position for Cecil Cooper. Cooper struck out his first chance. But right now it's a 3-3 game. 4-5 against the left-handed batter is a strikeout to end the inning. So Mike Witt does get out of further damage with 2 strikeouts, but damage done. 3 runs are in. Capped off by the triple from Brock, and at the end of 2.5, it's 3-3. So I thought we'd get more pitching than this, but with the good pitching of Nieves and Witt, but the offenses are having their say. So Wally Joyner will lead it off. Joyner flew to center his first chance. 6-12, and that's a ballpark blast. It's 1-12. That's a 14, though, so it's going to be a deep fly to right field. Wally just got under it, and Glenn Braggs at the track will make the catch. So Joyner just missed out on a home run, and that'll bring up Dickie Schofield. Schofield, the shortstop, singled and scored his first time up. And is this, let's see here, am I losing some of the dice tray? Let me move this back over here just to make sure we're not losing anything. Fix that. All right, here's Schofield. It's a 3-5. 3-5 against the lefties, a ground ball to short, and that's 2 away. So 2 down for DeSensei. Sensei line to short his first trip. That's a 2-7, and that's a 1-14 single, but that's an 18. So I'm going to say, well, I'm going to keep the line. It's the ballpark effects. I'm going to change the result to the line to third, but on this one, I'll keep the liner to short. All right, so 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 3, we're tied at 3. Brewers and the Angels, final game on the April 27th docket. April 28th, we'll find new matchups for teams that were off. In fact, the next game is in Strat-O-Matic replay is going to be from the 28th. It'll be the Baltimore Orioles against the Kansas City Royals. I believe it's Boddicker against Danny Jackson, but don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. All right, so Cooper struck out his last time up, so we start this inning with Surhoff. So BJ and the Bear Surhoff against Witt, 1-7, and that's a walk. Lead off walk to Surhoff. He can steal, but that -4 is going to hold him there. They will have to hold him on, or he'll get the lead automatically, so they will hold him on. And here's Dale Swain. 6-7, switch hitter batting left-handed, and that's another walk. So Mike Witt has lost the strike zone temporarily. Back-to-back walks for Jim Gantner. Gantner walked his first time up. 4 walks in the game already for Mike Witt. 2-6, and that's a pop out to shortstop. And that's a big play. Gets the out with nobody advancing. So he pops up to Schofield. 1 away and we're back to the top of the order for Paul Molitor. He is lined to short and walked. Actually, 5 walks in the game for Witt. Now that I look at it, 5 walks. 3-7, and that's another walk. Make it 6. He has walked 6 in less than 4 innings, and now the bases are loaded. With only 1 out, and Robin Yount, the batter, in the Angel bullpen now, starting to loosen. There is activity in the Angel bullpen, and we'll see who is available and who's tired in that bullpen. Looks to be Dwayne Boyce. Dwayne Boyce is loosening in the bullpen for the Angels just in case Witt gets into trouble. We got Boyce. The only one not available is Finley because he went like 5 innings his last outing, so he's definitely not available. So Robin Yount with the bases loaded and 1 out. Infield is double play depth. They can get out of it with a ground ball double play. It's a 2-8, and they almost got it. 2-9 would have been a ground ball double play. 2-8 to fly to center, possible sacrifice fly. So Center fielder Pettis is a +1. The lead runner is Surhoff. He's a 12. So the +1, the 12 is a 13. You add 2, makes it a 15. 1 to 15, he'd make it. So they're going to send him on a 1 to 15. And he's in there. Sacrifice fly by Yount is going to score Surhoff. And the Brewers come all the way back and take a 4-3 lead. So they have taken the lead away from the Angels. Runners at first and second with 2 outs now for Glenn Braggs. That's a 1. So 5 is a wild pitch rating for Witt. He's already had 1 wild pitch. He has another. So that's a second. So he's got 6 walks and 2 wild pitches, does Mike Witt. So to say he has control issues is an understatement. Second and third now with 2 outs. Braggs 4-3. Ground ball pitcher X. He's an E18. Witt's a 3 and an E18. 3 and a 16, he'll get to it, but the E18 is the question. As a pitcher in E18, he's got to avoid 11, 12, 14, and 17. Right here, 11, 12, 14, and 17. And that's an 11. That'll be a 1 base error on Mike Witt, and that's going to score the run as Swain will come in to score. So Witt having all kinds of issues. Unearned run on the 1 base error by Witt. And now it's 5-3. And runners are at the corners with still 2 outs. Braggs will be held but won't go anywhere. And here's Greg Brock. Witt trying to get out of the inning. 2-10, and he will finally. Ground ball to Joyner at first to end the inning. So 2 runs come in for the Brew Crew, and they take a 5-3 lead. That's why I said when they were down 3-0, if you're a Brewer fan, don't sweat it because they can score some runs, and they're proving it right here. All of a sudden, Juan Nieves now is in the catbird seat with a 5-3 lead. He's going to face Devon White, Darryl Miller, and Jack Howell. 2-5 for White is a ground ball to short, and Swain is there. 1 down. Brewers trying to wrest control from the Angels in this game and add to their lead in the AL East. 1-8, and against the lefty, that's a fly to center. 2 down. And here's Jack Howell, lefty on lefty matchup with the left fielder. 3-11, and that's a ground ball to the first baseman Brock. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Nieves. And at the end of 4, it is still 5-3 Brewers. And now you wonder how much longer they're going to go with Mike Witt, because he just doesn't seem to have it right now. But they're going to at least give him a chance to correct things. But if he runs into trouble, he will be leaving very quickly. Here is Rob Deere. 3-3, that's a strikeout. So you can use a count on Deere for a strikeout, and that's why they left him in there to face Deere. Now here's Cooper. He's also struck out twice. 6-10, not this time. It's a ballpark blast, but he has normal power. That's a 15, but that's a 12, so he's going to miss out. It's a fly to right, deep fly to right that is hauled in out there by the right fielder, Devon White. Now, each team has had a ballpark chance that went just short, but the D20 has cost them. So 2 down now for Surhoff. It's a 4-5, and that's going to be a strikeout for Witt. So Witt does rebound with a pretty good inning there. 2 strikeouts and 3 up and 3 down inning. And he'll stay in the game a little longer. His fatigue is a 7, so he's not tired. Unless he gives up that 6th run, then he would become tired just based on that alone. But they're going to try to keep him out there. All right, here's Gary Pettis. He's going to lead things off against Nieves. Speedster center fielder. 3-6, and he's going to draw a leadoff walk. And Pettis will be looking to run. To get the jump, he needs, or get the lead, needs a 5 or a 6. Does not get the lead, so he has to hold. Here's McLemore. .610, switch hitter batting right-handed. That is a in-home run chance, 1-13, but he's got weak power. That is a 13. That would have been a home run instead of a single, 2 stars, because he has weak power. But runners on the corners now for the Angels as they threaten to jump right back in this thing. McLemore could get the lead at a 4-6. 4-6, he would take the lead. He does not, so he will hold. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Brewers are playing back for the double play. They need outs. They've got a lead, so they can give up a run to get 2 outs. 4-10, and that is a ground ball third base X, and that is Milder. He's a 4. 4 and a 5, that could be trouble. 4 and a 5 for an infielder. 4 and a 5 is an SI1. That's going to be a base hit. He's an E22, so he's got to avoid 12, 14, 16, 15, and 18. So basically 12 through 18, but not a 13 or 17. That's a 12. That will be an error. E22, 12 is right there, so it's going to be a single plus an error. It was an SI1 and an error, so single plus an error. So that'll put McLemore to third base. Downing will be at second after the error on Mahler. Scoring is Pettis. Lead is cut to 5-4. Still nobody out. Runners at second and third. A little bit sloppy going on here for the Brew Crew. Second and third, nobody out for Wally Joyner. And the infield will come in for the Brewers with nobody out. Try to choke that run off. 4-8, lefty on lefty is a strikeout, a big one for Nieves. So he strikes out Wally World. And now that brings up Schofield. Infield still in with 1 out, and that's a 1. Chance for a wild pitch for Nieves is a 4. And it's not going to be a wild pitch. That's blocked by Surhoff. The pitch to Schofield, 5-9. Against a right-hander. That's a 1 for a single. Anything else, he lines to short. So it's a line drive to short to keep the runners where they are. And Nieves trying to be a miracle worker and pitch out of this with just 1 run allowed. Got to get by DeSensei. DeSensei is lined to short twice. That's a 5-9, and he's going to walk. And that's going to load the bases. Bases are loaded for Devon White. White doubled and grounded to short. 1-5, that's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. Called a 6-4 fielder's choice. Take care of business and get out of the jam. So the Angels get 1. They could have got more. Probably should have got more. But at the end of 5, it is Milwaukee 5 and California 4. Nip and tuck so far. Neither team can seem to gain control. Witt now will be facing Swain, Gantner, and Molitor. Swain, Gantner, and Molitor. 6-8, switch hitter batting left is a 1-12 single. That's a 2. It's a base hit for Dale Swain. Now the Angel bullpen back up again, tossing. It is not Weiss this time, though. It will be Gary Lucas, the left-hander, loosening the bullpen. Right now it's Gantner at the plate. For 9, left-handed. 1's a triple. 2-20 is a double. That is a 2. It will be a double for Gantner. Swain runs at a 12. Was not being held, makes him a 13. Plus 1's a 14, but with nobody out, I think they're going to freeze him there. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Brewers in the catbird seat to score some more runs. And now you wonder how much longer they're going to go with Witt. Infield is in against Molitor. It's 2-4 for Molitor, and that's a ground ball shortstop with a plus sign. So with the infield being in, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think this still applies to super advanced. With the infield in, not for holding runners, but with the infield in, that plus is going to put into a 2-run single. It's going to turn this into a 2-run single. I want to double check myself. Yep, ground ball plus to a single star only when the infield is all the way in, which they were. So it is a single for Molitor. That's going to do it for Witt. His day is done, or his night is done. 2-run single. And Witt is tired now. He's given up 7 runs. So he is out of there. That's going to do it for Witt. Molitor will leave. And it's actually not going to be Lucas. It's actually going to be the first guy I mentioned, Dwayne Miami Weiss. So he will be in to pitch. Can't close the book on Witt just yet. Weiss a +1. Miller -2 makes him a -1, but I don't think the Brewers are going to run necessarily, although Molitor might. Molitor would probably run. 4 through 6, he gets the lead. So why not try to pour it on? And he gets the lead with a 6, so that's a 19. Being held is a 17. -1's a 16. And he's in there. It's a possible throwing error on Miller. Miller's T rating is a 3. So there's no throwing error, but it will be a stolen base for Molitor. So Molitor is at second with nobody out. And that brings up Robin Yount. Molitor will be held at second base. Weiss to Yount. 3-7. That's a strikeout. Big strikeout there for Weiss as he gets Yount. Oops. And that's going to send up Glenn Braggs. Braggs 0 for 3 in this one to date. 6-9, and that is a strikeout for Weiss again. It's a dot there, but he's obviously not tired this early. So Weiss has come in and struck out the first 2 he has faced. And now it's Greg Brock, first baseman. He has singled and tripled, 2 for 3. That's a 4-8, and that's a strikeout there. So Weiss strikes out the side. 2 runs are in to make it 7-4, but Weiss keeps it from getting worse. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is now 7-4 Brew Crew. But this thing could have really got out of hand without Weiss getting those strikeouts. And here's Nieves. Nieves. This is his fatigue inning, number 6. So we'll keep an eye on his fatigue. It'll be for the Angels. It will be Miller time. It'll be Miller, Howell, and Pettis due up for the Angels. Miller is 1 for 2 with a double. It's a 5-11 right-hander. Ground ball pitcher, X.S. Nieves. He's in a 3 E38. 3 and a 2 is most likely a base hit, you would think. 3 and a 2 for a pitcher is a single, but we got to check the E38, and there's a lot of numbers here for an E38 to come up with an error. That is a total of 12. E38, there's 12 right there, so it's a single plus an error on Nieves. And Darryl Miller will take second base. Single plus the E1. Second error of the game on the Brewers. First one on Molitor, this one now on Nieves. And now Jack Howell, the batter. For 6 against the lefty is a walk. So now one more base runner, and he will reach fatigue. And so the Brewer bullpen is loosening. They have right-handed action in the Brew Crew bullpen. They are looking at right-hander Mark Crystal Clear. Mark Crystal Clear loosening in the bullpen. First and second, nobody out. Here's Gary Pettis. 4-9. Switch hitter batting right-handed. 1's a single. Anything else he lines to short, but that is a 1. So it will be a single to load the bases, and Nieves is now tired. He has now reached his point of fatigue. So do they go now to Clear, or do they go to leave Nieves in to face switch hitting McLemore? They're going to let him pitch to McLemore because McLemore does a little bit better against righties. But he is fatigued, so if he hits these dots, they will come into play. But first and second, nobody out. I'm sorry, bases loaded, nobody out. Infield back for the double play. This is the last batter for Nieves. Clear will come in to face Downing. 4-5, switch hitter. That's a ground ball, second base C, so that's going to score the run. Only play for Gantner to throw it to first. Miller will score, and everybody else will move up a base to second and third. So RBI ground out. And it cuts the lead to 7-5, and that's going to do it for Nieves. The call has been made to the bullpen for the Brew Crew. And it will be Mark Clear, right-hander. Clear on the replay, 1-0 with no saves, a 2.25 earned run average, 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 walks, and 9 strikeouts. 7-5 lead, runners at second and third with 1 out. Do they take a chance and play the infield in, or do you lay back and make sure you get an out? That's the question. They're going to play in. They don't want to give up a cheap run. They're going to play in. So Clear is your new pitcher. He's got a hold of +1, so that makes the overall a +1. Pitch to Downing, 6-7 is a ground ball, shortstop X. That is Swain. He's a 3. 3 and a 1. Boy, that 1 keeps coming up. I don't care what color die I use. 1 seems to come up all the time. It's going to be a base hit. Question is it 2 stars? It certainly is. It's a SI2. That's going to tie the game. Let's see. Looking for a third chance on Swain. He's an E25 at shortstop, so he's got to avoid 4, 13, 17, and 18, which he does. But it's a single 2 stars, and that's going to score both runs. And we have a tie game, 7 apiece. It's not Coke or Pepsi, it's 7-Up. 7-Up here in Anaheim in the 6th. Still only 1 out, and here's Wally Joyner. That's a 2-6 for Joyner. That's a ballpark blast. 1-12. That's a 15, though. So it will just be another fly to right. So again, not able to get the home run on that high D20 on that 2-6. Needed a ballpark check of 12. We got a 15. So it's a fly to right for out number 2. Third time that's happened. Or we'd have more runs. And here's Schofield. Downing not being held at first. That's a 2, chance of a balk or pass ball. That's chance of a pass ball on Miller. I'm sorry, on Surhoff. He's a pass ball rating of 5. And there will be a pass ball on Surhoff. So we're getting a little bit of everything here. Puts a runner in scoring position. And Schofield now against Clear. 2-5, and that's a pop out to second to end the inning. But a 3 spot for California. And at the end of 6 innings of play, we are tied at 7 apiece. And both starters now will get a no decision. So Weiss comes back out for the Angels to start the 7th. And he'll be facing Deere, Cooper, and Surhoff here in the top of the 7th of a 7-7 game. 6-5, and that's trouble. 1-3 is a triple. Anything else he flies out, but that's an 18, so we get a high number that time. And it's just a fly ball to left field. Hauled in by Howell, 1 away, and here's Cooper. We are in the 7th inning, so now pinch hitting is allowed if we so choose to think they need one. 1-7 is a strikeout. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Surhoff. 2-2, and that's a pop out to second base. Fielded by McLemore, and that's going to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Weiss. As he liked it so much the first time, he was twice as nice the second time. So 7th inning stretch is upon us, and we are tied at 7 apiece. Mark Clear is going to come back out as we get ready for the 7th inning stretch. And while we're waiting to get going on the 7th inning stretch, I will give the stats from the Strat computer for the both starting pitchers, which I did not fill in yet. So we can do that now. For Nieves, he goes 5 1/3. He's going to give up 8 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 3 walks, and a strikeout. For Witt, 7 innings pitched. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to bring Weiss in on the computer. That's screwed up. I got to fix that, obviously. I'll fix that after the game is over. I'll make sure I got to go back and fix that. So I messed that up not bringing in Weiss. I'm not going to go through and do all that while you guys are on the stream. I'll do that after the fact. So let's see here. Totals for the Brewers, 6 hits. All of those came against Witt. And, of course, he's going to give up 7 runs, all of which were earned. So, and he pitched 5+ innings. Let's see about his walks and strikeouts. Can't believe I forgot to put Weiss in on the computer, but I'll fix that. So 6 walks and 5 strikeouts total for Witt. All right. We are ready to get going. And bottom of the 7th time, it's to Sensei facing Clear. 7-7 tie in the bottom of the 7th. 4-3, and it's a fly ball left field X. That's Deer. He's a 3E10. 3 and a 14, he'll get to it. E10. Let's see what he's got to avoid on an E10 as a left fielder. E10, he's got to avoid 3, 4, and then 14 through 18. And that's a 15. He did not avoid it. So an E10 and a 15 is a 2-base error on Rob Deer. And that is the 3rd error for the Brew Crew. 3rd error of the game. It's a 2-base error on Mr. Deer. And that'll bring up Devon White. The Sensei not held at second base. 1-9. That's a 1-3 triple. Anything else is a single. That's a single 2 stars. It'll score the run. And the Angels take an 8-7 lead. RBI single by Devon White. And now the Brewer bullpen loosening again is Clear running into issues. White is definitely a threat to run. Bullpen action for the Brew Crew. We are looking at left-hander Paul Mirabella loosening the bullpen. White to try to get the lead is a 3-6. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And that brings up the catcher, Darryl Miller. 2-6 for Miller, pops it up to first. That's 2 down. Brewers would like to get Clear through the inning if possible. But with the left-hander Jack Howell coming up, they will make the move to the left-hander Paul Mirabella. See if that forces the Angels' hand as well. That's going to be it for Clear. They're going to Mirabella, the left-hander, out of the bullpen. He's a -1 on his hold. So Howell let's see something here. What took place? All right, so White singled. I need to score him. Okay. And then Miller popped to first. And now we bring in Mirabella. Can't close the book yet on Clear. Runner on base is his responsibility. Mirabella on the replay is 0-0. He's only pitched 2 innings. He's 0-0 with a 0 ERA. 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. So he's going to be in to face Jack Howell. Lefty on lefty matchup, 6-8, and that's a fly to right field to end the inning. But a run does score for the Angels, and they take an 8-7 lead. That run is charged to Clear, who is now the losing pitcher record if the game stands where it is, and the Brewers don't tie the game. Numbers on Clear. He's going to go 1 inning total, and he's going to give up 2 hits and a run, which was not earned. And actually saying one of Witt's runs was unearned too. I thought that all of them were earned, but they're saying the 6th one was not. All right, and no walks, no strikeouts. All right, so top of the 8th we go. Top of the 8th we do go. And the Angels will turn to another bullpen arm, as Weiss gave him 2 innings. Solid pitching. Struck out 4. Gave up nothing else. And now they will turn it over to Gary Lucas, left-hander. Lucas will be coming on for the Angels. 0 hold rating, so -2 total. Wait a minute, that was just the second out. My bad. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I thought that was the third out, but it's only 2 outs. So Pettis will get the bat with the runner at first. Hello, Thumper. Good to see you. I didn't realize that error threw me off. I was thinking there were already 3 outs, but the computer is telling me correctly that there's only 2 outs. So we're going to keep going. Pettis facing Mirabella. That's a 4-7. Pettis, a right-handed hitter, batting switch. 1-2 is a double. That's another. Boy, this thing has come with a 1 so many times. I'm about ready to lose faith in this D20 as well. That's a double. And the double is assumed to go to center field. And the runner at first, Witt, 17, being held as a 16, but 2 outs makes it an 18. +2, there's a 20, so he's going to score automatically from first base with a double for Gary Pettis. RBI double. And that's now is going to make it 8. I'm sorry, make it 9-7. 9-7 Angels. And here's McLemore. They're still not done yet. They can score more. .26 for McLemore is a walk, so the inning continues. So Mirabella's having his issues. Here comes Downing. And that's going to be all for Mirabella. They're going to get him out of there. And they're going to go to Chuck Krim to try to get out of this mess. Right-hander Chuck Krim, third pitcher of the inning. Or second pitcher of the inning, my bad. Or was it third? Yeah, okay. So Krim will come on to pitch. He's a -2, which gives them a -2 here. So Krim will be on to face Brian Downing. And we'll get the numbers on Krim as he comes out of the Brewer bullpen. Chuck Krim on the replay, 0-0 with 3 saves, a .284 earned run average, 13 innings pitched, 14 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Runners at first and second, 2 down, 2 in. That's a 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. Looking at a pass ball chance on Surhoff, his pass ball rating is a 5. And it is going to be a pass ball. It's going to move the runners up to second and third. So pass ball on Surhoff. Now a single, almost assuredly with this speed, would score both runs. So Krim trying not to cause any more damage. 6-2, and that's a split chance. 1-10 is a single, but that's an 18. We'll line it to short to end the inning. But the 2-run stand, and it's a 9-7 game after 7. Favor the Angels. And now we can bring in Gary Lucas. So Lucas will be coming on. And he'll be facing Swain, possibly a pinch hitter for Gantner, and then Molitor. Hello, Dav. How you doing? So pinch hitting for the Brewers for Gantner. They do have a couple options. They have right-hander Pachork, although he's not very good. Neither is switch hitting Juan Castillo. Bill Schroeder is the best, so backup catcher Bill Schroeder will hit for Gantner, and then Juan Castillo will come in and play second base. So let's get this lined up. One is going to be Schroeder pinch hitting here in the 8th. And then number 2 is Castillo, second base in the 8th. So it's going to be Swain, Schroeder, and Mahler due up for the Brew Crew as Gantner is out of the game. So it'll be Swain to lead it off. Dale Swain. Hello, Mr. Dav. All right, so Lucas now will be facing Swain to lead it off. 9-7, top of the 8th. 2-6 for Swain against the lefty is a strikeout. So Lucas gets the K on Swain, and now Schroeder, the pinch hitter for Gantner. And Schroeder on the replay, let's get his numbers. Schroeder on the replay is hitting 243, no homers, 5 driven in. 2-6, and that's a ballpark blast. It's 1-12, but again, that high D20 on these home run chances have taken it away. It's another deep fly to left field, and that's 2 away. Two down, and that'll bring up Mahler. 4-7, and that's a 1-5 single. Anything else he lines to short, that's another liner to short. So Lucas pitches the solid 8th inning. He might stay in there and try to get the save. For the Brewers, Krim will come back out, and he'll be facing Joyner, Schofield, and DeSensei here in the bottom of the 8th of a 9-7 game. 3-6 for Joyner, and that's a straight-up home run. Wally Joyner, a 3-6 against a right-hander is a solid home run for Wally Joyner. Let's get the numbers on Joyner for home runs. Joyner, that is home run number 6, RBI number 13, and it's now a 10-7 California lead. 6th home run of the year for Joyner. It is now 10-7. Here's Schofield. 4-6 against Krim is a pop out to third. 1 away. That will take us to DeSensei. 3-8 for DeSensei is a fly to center. 2 down. And that brings up Devon White. 4-9, switch hitter batting left as they line out to short, and that's going to end the inning. But the home run off the bat of Joyner gives the Angels a 10-7 lead as we go to the top of the 9th. Brewers had a 7-4 lead, but 6 unanswered by the Angels. And Gary Lucas looking to finish things off. It's going to be Yount, Braggs, and Brock due up for the Brewers. 1-6, and that's a 1-5 triple, 6-20 single. That'll be a triple, as that's a 5. So Robin Yount with a leadoff triple. And like I said, never count the Brewers out because their offense, they can strike quickly. Donnie Moore now loosening the California bullpen just in case. Infield back for the Angels. They need outs. The runner on third doesn't really matter right now. Here's Braggs, 6-9. That's a pop out to first base. Called for by Joyner. And one away where Yount cannot move up. So here's Greg Brock, a left-hander, but they really don't have anything else on the bench. Their only other non-lefty is Juan Castillo, and he's not very good. So they're going to stick with Brock against Lucas. That's a 4-7, and that's a solid single to right field. And Greg Brock, decision to stick with him pays off as the Brewers get a run to make it 10-8. And now the tying run is at the plate in Rob Deere, and that's going to be all for Lucas. They will go to Donnie Moore out of the bullpen to try to save it. Lucas couldn't quite close the deal. So now they will go to Donnie Moore. Moore on the regular season was 2-2 with a 2.70 ERA and 5 saves. On the replay, Mr. Moore is 1-1, but his ERA is 9.64 with a save. 5 innings pitched, 12 hits. So he has not done very well in the replay. But he is their quote-unquote closer. So that's who you go with. And that is who Gene Mauch is going with. Against the right-hander Rob Deere. The Brewers do have Rick Manning, a lefty they could bring in to replace Deere, but Deere is the tying run with that power. So I think they're going to stick with Deere, even though he strikes out a lot. He's also got the home run potential. So here's Moore pitching to Deere. That's a 6-8, and that's a fly to right field. That's out number 2. So 1 out away from getting the victory is the Angels. And last chance for the Brewers is Cecil Cooper. He is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. But like I said, they don't have much on the bench, and he does have a couple of home run chances. Rick Manning, their possible pinch hitter, has no home run chances. So you got to go with the guy who could tie the game with one swing of the bat, I would think. So they're going to stick with the veteran Cooper, even though he's 0 for 4. They're going to stick with him. Gene Mauch likes the veterans. I'm sorry, not Gene Mauch. Troublehorn likes the veterans. So that was a 1, so it's a chance of a wild pitch from Moore, but he has a 0 wild pitch rating, so we drive on. 3-7, and that's a strikeout to end the ball game. And Cecil Cooper gets the golden sombrero, striking out 4 times. Manning on a 3-7 would have also struck out, so we had no chance there. Actually, don't know why I put a 0 there, because I just said they scored a run, so obviously that was wrong. Good thing I got correction tape. It's actually 10-8 the final, not 10-7. 10-8 the final. Angels over the Brew Crew. 3 errors did not help the Brewers' cause at all. So Donnie Moore gets the save. Oops, don't need that there. That shouldn't be there. Donnie Moore gets the save. He goes 2/3 of an inning and gets a strikeout. He also gets the save. Now let's see. Lucas came in, pitched the 8th, and then 1 out here, so 1 1/3. Striking out 1, giving up 2 hits and a run. So, winning pitcher is Dwayne Bwyce. He was in the game when they scored those 2 runs to take the lead, when they took that 9-7 lead. So he gets credit for the win, does Bryce. And Bryce, with that win, is 1-0. The loss is going to go to Mark Clear. And Clear, on the replay, don't have his numbers available. Because I got to go back in and do the computer. So I've got to go back and redo where I did not have Weiss in the game instead of Witt. So I didn't want to mess with the computer while the stream was going on. So I'll go back and finish it later. So I'll have to do these by hand. Let's see. Mirabella came in here, faced 3 batters. So he gave a walk, a double. Did get 1 out. And did not give up any runs. Krim gave up the home run, so that was a run he allowed. Clear actually gave up 2 runs. Krim, no strikeouts, no walks. 1 hit and a run in a third. All right. Mirabella did not have any strikeouts either. All right, so unofficially, because I don't have it on the computer, got Milwaukee 8 runs, 8 hits, and 3 errors. California 10 runs on 12 hits and 1 error. Winning pitcher Bryce, 1-0. Donnie Moore with the save, which is his second. And Mark Clear takes the loss. So the Brewers dropped to 14-4. California improves to 8-12. So the lower seeded teams, or if you want to call it that, beat the higher seeded teams. Boston took out Oakland, who was in first in the West, and now California takes out Milwaukee, first place in the East. So that's going to conclude the April 27th block. This was game number 130. So going forward, we will have April 28th, and the first game from April 28th will be Baltimore at Kansas City. I'm hoping tomorrow, sometime around lunchtime, to premiere the second game of the Cincinnati History Maker series against Montreal. We've already played second and third games, so I hope to premiere that sometime around lunchtime tomorrow so everybody can see how that turned out. Reds have won 7 in a row as they took the first game from the Expos in that rain-shortened game that only went to the top of the 7th before it was called for rain. But this one, they've got to play the full 9 and see what they can do with it. That is Jack Armstrong against Oil Can Boyd in that matchup. So that's going to do it from here. April 27th is in the books. We're moving on to April 28th. Before we know it, we'll be in May. And once we get to the end of April, then I will give a complete, before we start May, I will give a complete rundown on all the team stats, league leaders, and all that good stuff, just so you can do an April recap and see where we're standing as we go into the month of May. So appreciate all you guys tuning in and spending part of your Tuesday evening with me. Again, California wins it by the score of 10-8. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.